today, so a concerning development there for Oregon. Hopefully she's all right going forward.
It sounds like she got hurt in practice earlier this week, and she will be checked out by the doctors, and they hope to get her back in as soon as possible, of course.
So Falatea comes into the lineup, but she feeds the post. They double-team Che. There's a traveling violation on Amina Muhammad, who played a season-low 7 minutes. Oregon blew out Northwestern by 20. Muhammad kind of struggled, though, in that game.
Well, it was a big win for Oregon on the road to get that and feel good about this game here and the start of the new year.
And this has been the issue for Wisconsin offensively at the start of Big Ten play. How to handle it when Sarah Williams gets double-teamed.
Well, and that double team for Oregon coming all the way extended off the block. I think it caught Sarah Williams by surprise as she was extended on that baseline.
Catch and shoot three, Leitzinger bounces right back to Natalie Leitzinger, the graduate student from Monroe, Wisconsin. Porter finds Williams. They bluff the double towards her. She's too far out, though, for that double. So a good look for Tess Myers, and the three is off the back rim. Mevius finds Muhammad. Finds herself open. Nice rebound defensively by Carter McCray, coming in from Northern Kentucky this year. Wisconsin typically plays methodically offensively. That's how they travel. McCray.
Yeah, Carter McCray has been a really nice addition to Wisconsin. The 6'1" sophomore, transfer from Northern Kentucky, spent a year there. But she has been a 1-2 punch in the interior for Wisconsin.
What kind of big would you want to pair with Williams down there?
Well, you pair anybody with Williams because she's absolutely fantastic. She is going to be a pro, and no question.
There's a foul called, and Amina Muhammad will get a trip to the free throw line. In her 4th year for Wisconsin, 7th year as a Division I head coach, Boston U alum Marissa Mosley. And she was a really successful BU head coach before that, an assistant with UConn, and was a part of that four-peat from 2013 through 2016.
Yeah, she's coached some of the best all-time players, Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier, but has done a fantastic job as the head coach at Wisconsin, from 8 wins to 11 wins to 15 wins, already 10 wins this season for Wisconsin. She's re-energized Badger basketball.
Here's Williams. Kelly, an effective reach in there to cause a deflection. Lonnie Porter. Looking for McCray. Good catch in the paint. End of the shot clock. Got to put this up. And too late. Good defensive possession for Kelly Graves and his Oregon Ducks. 2-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year, 8-time West Coast Conference Coach of the Year between St. Mary's and Gonzaga. And maybe he'll get a Big Ten Coach of the Year award at some point in the near future.
He's coached two of the best point guards that won the title this year with the Liberty, and Sabrina Ionescu and Courtney Vandersloot. He's got a couple of other really good guards on his roster now.
Utilizing the portal for the first time in a big way this offseason to bring in some of that guard talent. Filipina Che, the misfire in close, and so it's still a 2-0 game. Wouldn't be surprising, at least, to see a lower scoring game considering what Wisconsin wants to do, which is slow the game down. A little bit of a battle of paces.
And it's interesting right now just trying to figure out Oregon, what they're doing defensively. It almost looks like a box and one with Amina Muhammad chasing Sarah Williams wherever she goes.
Very close at the end of the shot clock. I'm not sure that was off in time, but it's not going to matter. No reason to worry about it because it's out off of the shot anyway. Goes back to Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon's attention defensively all upon Sarah Williams. And she's seen double and triple teams since last year when she had that breakout year. Really, it started her freshman season when she put up 31 points and 13 boards against Michigan State.
Jumpers in for Deja Kelly, first-year transfer from North Carolina.
Went over the 2,000-point mark. Deja Kelly, the explosive guard, all-ACC at North Carolina, and playing her final year of basketball here with the Ducks. That's a long way from North Carolina to Eugene, Oregon.
Jimenez is checked in for the Badgers. Was negotiating the baseline. Now it's another substitute, Douglas. Kick out to Tess Myers. And late in the shot clock, these possessions, and Myers' rainbow three leads to a long rebound for Falatea. Transition defense important. It's a kick-out three for Kelly. Rebound Mevius. A couple of years at Siena for Eliza Mevius. And transferring as well to Oregon. Good look, Shea Muhammad. She's fouled again, and this time finishes the play.
Nice play by Muhammad to go through the contact, not just take the foul, but get up, see the rim, get it through that contact, and a nice job from Philly Che of reading the double team. Muhammad cutting, hits her in stride, and then, yeah, just powering over the top of Jimenez, who's just 5'8".
Falatea, free throw, offensive rebound.
And Wisconsin has had a problem with starting games, and they fell behind their last two Big Ten games and ended up losing. This was something that Coach Mosley talked about. They've got to have a quicker start. It hasn't happened.
Looked like Mevius might have got hit on the head there. There was no call. What do you think Wisconsin has to do to start better in some of these games?
I mean, they've got to knock down shots like that.
Oh, there you go. Hallie Douglas, you spoke it into existence, and Douglas, only her 5th three of the season in 21 attempts, but a key shot to get Wisconsin going.
Well, and they've got to feel good about their defense right now. They've only allowed 6 points. It's just offensively, they've got to move the ball, get Sarah Williams some touches.
That rattles home, a three-pointer for Nani Falatea. Battled injury last year, stepped away from the BYU program, and is coming off the bench until this game because of the absence of Scott.
I love the way she shoots the basketball. It's pure.
Top three-point shooter for the Ducks, looking for another shot. She was run off the line that time. Now Kelly, pickpocketed from behind by Natalie Leitzinger. It's a 2-on-1 the other way, but Mevius is Oregon's best defender back there. Doesn't matter, Leitzinger scores.
No, it's an excellent job, 2-on-1. Made Mevius make a decision, and wide open lane.
And Mevius travels. Yeah, 2-on-1 against Mevius is more like a 2-on-1.5 with her steal-getting ability, but a timeout here with Oregon in front by 4 in the early going. Is out, so curious, Elise, how does Oregon adjust with their leading scorer on the season out of this game?
It's just really unfortunate for Peyton, who missed all of last year.
Three ball there.
Yeah, great job
Jimenez.
out of the timeout by Wisconsin to get that open look.
Giannis Jimenez with that look. Yeah, she transferred in, Scott did, from Miami, Ohio. Played 1 game last year, injured the knee. And now is out again starting today. So we'll see going forward what that could mean. But Muhammad has had it going early on. Another and one for Amina Muhammad.
She's been very active and aggressive in getting to the rim. And you know, anytime you face Wisconsin, Sarah Williams is looming around there somewhere, but she has taken it hard to the hoop. That time went right at Carter McRae, who's just 6'1", not the shot blocker like Williams. And she has not been scared of the contact. She has seeked out that contact for a couple of and ones.
Maybe a sour taste in her mouth after getting into foul trouble and barely playing against Northwestern. Transferred in from Texas. Maybe also she heard us talking all about the Che versus Sarah Williams big matchup down low in the open, and then it's been Muhammad's day so far. 11-8 Ducks. Deja Kelly on the move, throws it off the window, wouldn't quite go.
Well, Wisconsin plays at one of the slower paces in the Big Ten, but Coach Mosley said they want to get out an opportunity break. That time Oregon getting back defensively. Wisconsin tried to push, the Ducks were there.
There are 3 defenders near Sarah Williams right now. And Wisconsin just needs to find that solution when that happens. Kick it right back to the post. Muhammad finds Katie Fiso. Sarah Rambis into the game. Falatea in traffic, picked up.
Yeah, very nice job of anticipation by Williams. So you see Muhammad meeting Sarah Williams at the free throw line.
An impressive shot by Sarah Williams to get on the scoreboard. Her first field goal attempt of the game, and it's good.
I love her game. She's got the soft touch to go with the wingspan. She's 6'4", but moves really well. And the whole defense right now is focused on Williams. Other players have got to move the ball and find a way to get her involved as well.
Off the dribble, Deja Kelly is pure with that jumper.
And that's really where Deja Kelly's at her best. On the move, off the dribble, that pull-up game certainly is a big weapon.
Porter couldn't be more open. Ronnie Porter this year under 30% from 3. Falatea trying to be aggressive. Offensive rebound, Rambis, the stick back. Wouldn't go.
Well, Falatea was really aggressive against Illinois. Got into the lane, got pushed off that three-point line, but had some really good takes.
It's the face-up game that might have to come into play today for Sarah Williams. Near steal in the backcourt by Porter, so momentarily a 5-on-4. Fiso takes advantage and finds Muhammad.
Beautiful job of play making by the true freshman, Katie Fiso. Led to a wide open lay-in. Doesn't get any easier than that.
Fiso is one of the 12 different players for Oregon that averages over 9 minutes per game. She is at 9.3. You never know who's going to stick out in a given game for Oregon.
Well, they've got a lot of players that are capable at the guard spot. Katie Fiso, the big 1-2, draws the defense, and then perfect timing, the dish on the move for the wide open bucket for Muhammad.
Muhammad with 8 early points on 3 of 4 shooting. Fiso on the attack again. Now Alexis Whitfield, the Washington transfer. And reset with Deja Kelly. Kelly, left hand finish.
So good, downhill, left hand off the window. That's why she's been able to put up over 2,000 career points. She will make that defense slide their feet. If she gets any kind of momentum, it is game over.
6 straight points for Oregon to close out this quarter. With one more chance for Wisconsin with the shot clock and game clock nearly in sync. Porter runs it down. And flashing open down low. Spashovsky at the horn. Jovana Spashovsky played well against. Happy with their spot. 5-point lead after 1. Sarah Rambis face up, fake on Williams, a half a step on Williams, and couldn't quite find the opening she was looking for in the end. Traveling his call.
Yeah, Rambis got Sarah Williams to bite on the fake. It was a great job of footwork, but needed to go up right there. Got her in the air, and then just needed to go through that contact, landed instead. But give credit to Sarah Williams. She bit on the fake, but then recovered and made it a tough angle.
It looked like she kind of tried to go around it and not through it once that fake occurred.
So now no Muhammad on the floor. Rambis has that matchup down low with Williams. We'll see if she can get some more touches. Just 1 of 2 in the first quarter for Williams.
Kelly just getting to her spot so far today. Deja Kelly has 6 early points. Off the mark from the mid-range. This Wisconsin team, it's almost at times more fun to watch off the ball and kind of see what Williams is up to, jockeying for position. Porter misses the pull-up. Katie Fiso giving her a look in this game, and Fiso paying it off.
Yeah, she's come out with the intensity off the bench. No Peyton Scott. Next point guard up, and so far Katie Fiso's had good minutes.
That time a better look for Williams. The miss, good save, Leitzinger, but Fiso is there. Outlet Kelly, good find in the corner. And the three ball is in for Fiso. By the way, it's Sophia Bell is in the game for Oregon as well, who I didn't think was going to be available for this one. Timeout, Wisconsin, and a double-digit Oregon.
Love the energy off the bench. And for a true freshman, it just builds confidence when you can come on and make a play right away like she did.
State of Success, sponsored by State Farm, and it is, you know what, it's classic 2024-25 Oregon Ducks to have a player, a 2,000-point scorer in Scott go out. And hey, bring in the true freshman Katie Fiso, and she fills in that role with this team, leading the Big Ten in bench point production. Picked off by Alexis Whitfield, to catch and shoot, as Sophia Bell is just front rim with that. Bell had missed the last 4 games before coming back in this one, and that's a splash for Leitzinger.
I love the southpaw getting after it. Has hit a 3 in all but 1 game this season until 2 games ago. That's her first 3 in the last 2 games, so good to see that one go down.
Shea is back in there for Oregon. Hey, tell me your thoughts on Shea, because last year she was averaging a double-double, was 3rd in the entire country in rebounding with nearly 12 per game. This year the minutes are down. She's trying to come back from injury.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just a long process. You gotta remember, for Philly Shea, she is 6'8", and trying to get your conditioning back is difficult, but she's been working hard. She's just an outstanding human being. She is elementary education and volunteers or has an internship with a kindergarten class. Last year, all the kindergarten class came to cheer her on, but she was the 3rd leading rebounder in the nation last year. Just is not quite at 100% yet, just trying to power her way through though, and it's hard to condition and get that conditioning during games, and that's what she's been dealing with.
You mentioned to me how, Kelly Graves really feels like this team has more upside even than it's shown so far, and that's probably an example of it. If they get a better and better version of Shea as the season goes along, hopefully they get Scott back healthy soon, and all of a sudden it's maybe a different looking team, even though they've had some notable wins already so far. Charges drawn there by Mevius.
Excellent job from Mevius of getting to the spot. Sarah Williams, all kinds of white jerseys surrounding her everywhere she goes. Look at this, 4 white jerseys. Mevius stepping up, getting to the spot first and drawing the charge.
What do you do if you're Sarah Williams to handle those situations where defenses are just crowding her like crazy?
Well, I think you become a screener, and then you also have to pass it and get it back on the move.
Double team against Shea. She's still got herself a nice look. Spashowski pushing it a little bit. Nice backdoor. Leitzinger has to reach with one arm. And 1-on-2 down there against Allie Bisbal, who only averages 2 minutes a game for Wisconsin. Has played in 7 games, but none since November. We're seeing some different names and faces in this game so far as a foul is called.
Well, and Sarah Williams on the charge, that first personal, just 1, but Coach Mosley giving her a rest at this point. And this is always an interesting point in the game when you have a player with 19 points, 12 boards a game, and Sarah Williams who's taking a seat on the bench, and the Oregon defense designed to stop her. Now what does Oregon do, and how does Wisconsin respond? Sometimes so much focus is on one player that this could be, for Wisconsin, time to really go on a run.
Mevius going downhill, and a great find for Alexis Whitfield. She has scored in double figures 4 times this year and has had 2 of those games in the last 3.
Such good guard depth for Kelly Graves. Without Peyton Scott that time, it's Mevius being the playmaker. Picked
up off the deck by Douglas. Now it's Bisbal. tough matchup against Che after you haven't played in a game since November 30th. Leitzinger frees herself up inside. Rebound for the Ducks. Here comes Kelly. Face up, Whitfield hits in.
She was a big-time scorer last year at UCSB. 15 points, just a tick under 10 boards a game, and that's a little glimpse of why she can put up points.
Been over 2 minutes since Wisconsin scored. Backdoor look at times. Run around Bisball, nowhere close. But it's out off of Whitfield. Didn't hit the rim. Now, was there possession there? They say 2 seconds on the shot clock.
Roy Golbion, I think, was just saying, I saw him twirl that finger like they need to reset that to 20 seconds.
Yeah, because
which would be a change of possession.
There'd be Oregon. There was maybe Oregon possession, right? That's the question.
And we're staying with 2 seconds, so I guess they felt like it wasn't.
And that's something that Coach Mosley's bringing up right now. She wants the reset. Not going to get one.
And Brian Inderline, you could see, saying that it wasn't a full possession, didn't squeeze it.
And it's going to be a shot clock violation.
And it was a good possession by Wisconsin. They moved the ball well. They got a pretty good look inside from Bisball. Right behind her is Filipina Che, who's 6'8", and you're just not used to seeing that. You cannot draw up 6'8" in practice against that.
You know, it's been a process for Coach Mosley, given where she's trying to bring this program from. You know, a huge rebuilding effort. But you were telling me how much you just love her demeanor on the sidelines. That's a great look, and Muhammad scores again. And something that Coach Mosley told us, she was going to not be shy. The year before she got here, this year they already have 10 in what is her 4th year.
Well, I just think she has tremendous energy. She's a player's coach. And Sarah Williams, who's one of the best players in the nation, she had her top 5 choices before talking with Coach Mosley. And one phone call of about 20 minutes, she said, I'm going to Wisconsin. I love her. Instant connection. She can recruit. She can relate. And she's got that tremendous experience from her time at the University of Connecticut, where they just racked up national championships when she was there for the 9 years.
Sarah Williams picking up the foul right there at the very tail end of that possession. So that's a big call, her picking up her second.
Yeah, that's a game changer with 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. It takes away the ability to be as aggressive by Williams. Now Muhammad, you got to go at her.
Step back, Falatea.
Connie Porter with the ball in her hands, former walk-on. Scored over 2,000 points in high school, so it's not like she can't play, but boy, has she gotten better and better in her time as a Badger.
Tess Myers, Duquesne transfer, feeds the post. In, and the foul for Carter McCray.
Wisconsin inverting Williams to be outside. Carter McCray at 6'1" on the inside, but just trying to find a way to create some space. And it's not as if that's an easy matchup. Alexis Whitfield's got that length at 6'2", but a nice job of McCray just leaning into that contact.
Last year, McCray was averaging a double-double, one of the top players in the Horizon League for Northern Kentucky. And she had a recent 6-game streak of double figures that was snapped with a bagel in their blowout loss last time around. Good to get her going, and picks up the rebound here. Yeah, both teams 1 and 2 so far in conference play. Winner gets back to 500.
Kelly Graves talked about this type of game. It's a nice move.
Yeah, McCray again.
So some space without Williams taking the bulk of the touches now on the bench with 2 fouls. McCray taking advantage.
Good answer by Mevius. I think I know where you were going there, though, Elise, that, you know, when you have a game like this, if you're Oregon against a team, as he put it, that's either evenly matched with you or maybe a little bit lesser on paper, it's like a must-win when you're at home.
Yeah, when you're at home in the Big Ten Conference and you see somebody in the standings either equal or below, you feel like it is a must-win to make some make hay.
That's what Kelly Graves was thinking heading into this one, but it has been Carter McRae's stretch here late in the second quarter to keep the Badgers in this game with Williams in foul trouble. A whirling pass by Nevius. Here is Falatea stepping in. That's the highlight reel right there, that play.
Well, Falatea's got such a beautiful looking shot. It just spins off her hands, but she has proven that she is not just a shooter, that she can put it on the floor and get into the heart of the paint and still score.
And a foul called there on Nevius, the Siena transfer. This pass by Nevius, though, take a look at this that led into that breakthrough.
Excellent. She's got good vision. A gold medalist with Germany 3-on-3, spinning it to Falatea, and that opens up the defense. You can just see the defense shift right there, and Falatea is squeezing in through 3 red jerseys for the runner.
Nevius had the MAC single season steals record with 135 last year, set the Siena record as well, the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. Still wearing the green and gold, same colors.
Yeah, for Kelly Graves, he's got so many good guards, and they all provide a different look. And so without Peyton Scott today, it's been Katie Fiso off the bench that's had some good moments. Nevius, of course, is in the starting lineup consistently. She's had some good minutes.
There's green and yellow in this case, but similar colors. Double-figure lead still for Oregon.
Williams with the 2 fouls back on the floor with just over a minute to go till half.
Porter, who's improved her assist-to-turnover ratio this year, picked off there. Kelly has really been pushing the pace today for Oregon. Nevius a 3, just her 10th of the season.
Yeah, she has been cold from the three-point line, but that was a big hit. Right before halftime, Wisconsin trying to hang close. They've gone on a little run, and that was a big hit to grab some of that momentum back.
All-State halftime report coming up, and Oregon has a chance to expand upon the lead with the shot clock off.
Oregon has finished this quarter well. They've made 3 shots in a row, 6 of their last 8 to match Wisconsin, who's also made their last 3 in a row.
Shea couldn't quite get a clean handle on it at the buzzer. So Oregon will have to settle for a 14-point halftime lead. Did that, got her in foul trouble, forcing turnovers. Forced 12 turnovers, and that is going to be a foul there on Oregon. But overall, it was a picture-perfect first half of the Ducks.
Yeah, and I think the turnovers were a big factor. Defensively, not just limiting the touches and the shots for Sarah Williams, but forcing the turnovers. 12 Wisconsin turnovers, and that led to 14 Oregon points. And this team is tough to beat when they get that kind of production.
Natalie Leitzinger starts out the second half strong for Wisconsin.
And Wisconsin has proven that they can come from behind and win. They were down by 9 at halftime on the road at Butler. Sarah Williams went off for 36 points in that game, but able to come back from a big deficit to get a W.
That was a thrill ride. They won that one in double overtime as Filipina Che gets the lead back to 14 quickly.
Che was frustrated she couldn't finish that shot right before halftime at the second quarter buzzer. Good start for her. Feel good about that ball going in the bucket. Again,
no Peyton Scott, one of the 2 2,000-point scorers on the Oregon roster. She's out with injury. Amina Muhammad had the huge first half. She's involved here and forces the tie-up. Now you look at the numbers. Muhammad had 10 points, 4 for 5 shooting. but she was just as big defensively in the first half for the Ducks.
And with no Peyton Scott, you had to have other players step up. There's Peyton Scott. Amina Mohammed, not only offensively with the double-figure scoring, she's already above her average of 8.6 points per game, but the defense.
This team's got some serious, you talk about weapons more in an offensive term, another one for Mohammed, but you were describing how you just love Mohammed's athleticism, and then you think about Mevius and the 6'8" Shea. They have defensive weapons.
Yeah, for Kelly Graves, it's a different style that he is producing wins, 10-4 this season, and it's been about the defense, and he's got players that pride themselves on that end of the floor. And one of them right there, Philly Shea, coming away with that defensive rebound, but pair her with Mevius and Mohammed. That's some good defenders. Ooh.
Sarah Williams showing what she can do defensively, and she got the double tap by bringing that back down off of Mohammed and out of bounds.
That was a heck of a block right here. You get this shot off against most players, but not against Sarah Williams. She's got that long wingspan, timed it up perfectly. Last year's Defensive Player of the Year in the conference. #2 all time at Wisconsin in block shots.
Yeah, actually with that block moving into solo second all time in the program's history, breaking the tie with Cassie Rochelle. 182 career blocks now for Sarah Williams. Jimenez, yes.
That was smooth. She hit the 3-ball in the first half, that time off the dribble, pull up on the move.
Sophomore from Cape Coral, Florida. Got recruited in large part for her defense, but shows she can do that as well, and now picks up a defensive rebound off the Shea miss.
Watch Mohammed here. Wherever Williams goes, she's right there. There's not going to be a lot of help off Williams.
Shea denies that shot by Dianis Jimenez.
And with 6'4", Mohammed, the athlete, chasing Williams. Philly Shea at 6'8", plugging the paint. You're not going to take that over the top with the 7-foot wingspan of Philly Shea.
McCray over Shea, gets it back. Who's the foul on? Keep it here, foul on Shea, her second.
Didn't get the block, but certainly altered the shot of McCray. And then after that ball goes off the rim, some contact. Let's take a look right there. Yeah, Philly Shea. That's a good call. That's a great job by Roy Golby on seeing the foul as Shea had her arm right there holding McCray from the ability to go grab that.
Ducks still get the stop, and Mevius a coast-to-coast finish.
Mevius has played some really good minutes today. Getting the start, she got moved into the starting lineup about halfway through this season, and you go until the defense picks you up. The Cardinals send somebody, take ball, who's got ball? It's the first thing you call out defensively when that ball crosses half court. Who's got ball? And nobody stepped in front of Mevius.
Played internationally for Team Germany. She's from Germany, played in 3x3, 3x3 in the 2023 FIBA U21 tournament. Mevius has had more than 3 steals in over half of the games she's played over the course of her career. Just a spark plug on both ends. Face up, McCray, skip pass, Ronnie Porter. Porter's been quiet so far. Tess Myers, it's in.
And I like that. You've got to get Myers some touches. And that's her first bucket of the game on 5 attempts. But this is somebody that's made 309 three-pointers in her career. And she's dead eye.
Came over from Duquesne, but even this year she is top 10 in the Big Ten in three-pointers made. So she can definitely do it. Lately she's been a little bit quiet in terms of volume the last few games. That was a good sign there. So a 14-point differential. Wisconsin gets it back. Right now, Mevius, we haven't talked as much about just in a matchup sense. Maybe it's a tough matchup for Porter against Mevius. Deflected, going back to Oregon.
Porter listed at 5'4", the former walk-on. Well, I think that might be generous. She is a spark plug and she flies around, but she is definitely at a height disadvantage against Mevius, who's 5'10". So you're talking half a foot at least in this matchup right here.
And not that Porter isn't used to playing against bigger players, but Mevius is a different type of player defensively at the guard position. On the move, good play, Rambis. Nice catch, drew the foul. So Sarah Rambis, sophomore from Flint, Michigan, to the line for Oregon.
Third foul game, keep on number 2 in the quarter. By Sarah Williams back in the Badgers. Sarah Rambis the line to us.
Sarah Rambis has really been working hard. Talking to Adi Gilden, the player of personal development in the offseason. And Rambis has been one of the hardest workers who's made a huge stride in her game.
Williams jockeying down low with Rambis, and a foul gets called on Rambis. Oregon fast start. They've kept Wisconsin at arm's length or more. 15-point lead. Penn Network. And this has been Oregon 100% of the way. Oregon has never trailed. There have been no ties since 0-0 in this game. Oregon is led by double figures since a minute 15 into the second quarter.
Now this Oregon team has shown glimpses that they can be really good. They beat number 12 Baylor, and they're a team that as this season progresses, remember 7 new faces on the Oregon roster, and we're just starting Big Ten play. As they continue to grow, they have the ability to make big strides.
Saw Sophia Bell come back into the lineup today, but Peyton Scott moving out, and Shea trying to work her way back from injury and work on her conditioning, as the fans don't like this apparent foul call on Oregon, and they're going to get their wish.
And the question was whether or not the feet moved before the contact. And Sarah Williams ends up on the deck right there, as I think as she split, you could see the pivot move. A lot of contact, but not enough to warrant the whistle before the travel.
And that's turnover number 16, including 3 turnovers in the last 146 for Wisconsin.
Well, and the dependability for Sarah Williams, she's been in double figures every game but one this season.
Nice step aside by Kelly, just stepping right around the help defender. Like a reverse Euro step going off the wrong leg there.
Oregon has just packed the paint. Just given up nothing easy for Wisconsin, and they're shooting just 38%.
Falatea connects.
That rotation as it leaves her fingertips. That's how you draw it up. You do shooting clinics based on a shot like Falatea.
The BYU transfer, the #1 3-point shooter for Oregon, which prides itself in bench play.
Marcus Mariota, of course, won the Heisman, but Dan Fouts in the NFL Hall of Fame, one of the true great Ducks. And a good friend of Kelly Graves, so coming to support his pal, the head coach of Oregon.
Well, at least so far, it looks like he chose the right game to come show his support. What a performance for Oregon, leading end-to-end thus far. And Porter stepped on the sideline, another turnover during this 6-0 Oregon run. It's the largest Oregon lead of the game right now.
17 turnovers for Wisconsin and 19 Oregon points off turnovers. Wisconsin unable to turn on the other end. They've got just 7 points off turnovers, a huge factor in this Duck lead.
Badgers have switched to zone. Sarah Rambis on Williams. Williams got a piece, but they say got a piece off Rambis.
And that will be the third personal on Williams. And McCray, the power forward for Wisconsin, already with 3 fouls, so a bit of foul trouble here for Wisconsin. Just going for the shot block. She averages almost 3 blocks per game, but instead coming on the arm of Rambis. And she's such a disciplined defender. She's not fouled out of a single game this season, has Williams, and only 3 games with 4 fouls. She knows how to block shots without fouling.
So it's remarkable what we've seen where Williams, who averages, again, over 19 points and 12 rebounds a game, has attempted 2 field goals. It's not only that she's been quiet in the scoring sense, they haven't even let her get shots off today.
Well, it's a statement type of defensive performance so far from Oregon.
Gets a field goal. It's actually, no, it'll be a foul, so she'll get free throw attempts here. That's one way to do it as well.
Oh, and I think that's been a part of the impressive thing, is that Oregon has done this without fouling. And Sarah Williams, again, look at the bodies surrounding her, and just a little swipe from Muhammad from behind to send Williams to the foul line. I mean, she's one of the best post players in the nation, and Oregon's defense has come to play today, and that has been the staple of the Oregon Ducks. We talk about how traditions come and go, rosters flow in and out. This year's team for the Oregon Ducks massively improved from last year's Oregon Duck team that won just 11 games. If Oregon can continue to put the pedal down, they will have 11 wins right now, today, after this game, which would match last year's win total for Kelly Graves. So a totally different type of team.
Well, last year it was an anomaly. You would think it snapped a streak of 8 straight winning seasons and postseason appearances. They also had 7 20-win seasons during that streak, and the only time they didn't was that COVID-condensed 2020-21 campaign. Foul down low. It's going to go against Leitzinger. Well, what are you seeing, though, from Wisconsin? Like, now that you're getting a chance to see them in person, how do you envision them going from clearly much improved as a program, competitive in a lot more games, as we've talked about under Coach Mosley? How do they take it from here to that next step?
Well, I think for Wisconsin, they've got, as the nice hit from Deja Kelly, they've got one of the best players in Sarah Williams, but the matchup against Oregon, it does not bode well today. It did not bode well today for Wisconsin, where there's size and height and defense in the interior to match her.
Three-pointer Lily Cron, who we were told was questionable coming in, but she found her way into the lineup today and takes a 3 to get it back within 20. Long two-pointer for Fiso, who had a strong first half off the bench. McCray, double, good look. It's Cron. Not quite. Coach Graves was calling for that screen, and it was a good recommendation. Freed up Falatea to go to the foul line.
Falatea continuing to prove that she can spot it up from the three-point line, but get into the lane and find ways to take contact. A well-rounded guard for Kelly Graves. She's got that scorer's mentality too. She wants the ball in her hands.
On Tuesday, the Badgers continue their West Coast road trip against Washington. Coverage begins 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Washington making a statement, going and sweeping that Illinois trip on the road. Ella Dean dropping 40 in one game, and then the next time around showing they can kind of take turns. Savia Sellers leading the way. You know, Washington, maybe they can overachieve this year under Coach Langley.
Yeah, Tina Langley doing a fantastic job building that program, increasing their win totals, and off to a really nice start in Big Ten play.
Get some free throws here from McCray. And the third personal on Rambis.
And it's fun to see as we start Big Ten play for the first time this season. Wisconsin has not been out here on the West Coast for well over a decade. I talked to Coach Mosley. When was the last time you were in Eugene? And she said, oh, it's been a long time, about a decade. And so these players, it's fascinating from a lot of different levels, but in terms of scouting, you just don't know what to expect when you've got rivalries and rosters that year after year you build up and compile big scouting databases of what coaches like to do, what's their special plays, you know, the roster. And so Wisconsin, Oregon, it's like it's tournament action in the NCAA tournament because you don't have the familiarity.
Lane violation nullified that last free throw. Yeah, normally the familiarity is a hallmark once you get into conference play. The scouting, it becomes almost less about scouting, more about execution because of that familiarity. Maybe a different story in part this year. Another point off of that, though, it's funny you mentioned the tournament because these teams have only met 3 times in their history. One of those, the first one, was actually in the NCAA tournament back in 1996 in Nashville, a 6 versus 11 matchup. Wisconsin defeated Oregon 74-60. They met up again in a neutral site non-conference game in North Carolina in 2000, and Oregon won that game. And then their only previous meeting on a campus site was here in Eugene in 2009. Wisconsin won that game on a buzzer-beating layup by Lynn Zastro. So there have been some notable matchups between these two teams, just not for a long time. Oregon up big, headed toward the end of the third quarter in this one. Ronnie Porter, McCray, second chance, wouldn't bounce home. Closes the book on 3 quarters, and Oregon.
Remember, 15 of the 18 Big Ten teams will be invited to the women's basketball tournament in Indianapolis. And how many of those are going to earn their way into the NCAA tournament? It is going to be every single game is going to feel like you're playing against a postseason-worthy team.
I mean, considering the net ranking is the NCAA's primary tool to decide who goes into the NCAA tournament, it looks like a lot will be going to the NCAA tournament when all is said and done, because now all these teams play each other in conference play. It's not like those net rankings are going to go way down. If anything, they get better.
Well, and the key will be just racking up wins. You've got to get a certain number of wins. You've got to be 500 to get into postseason play in the NCAA tournament. So we'll see which one of these teams can win those close ones. It's going to be really fun to see year 1 of the Big Ten conference play.
One of the 2 Washington transfers on the Ducks roster, Ari Long, was able to force that deflection and the steal, but then Rambis threw it away. Wisconsin, despite it going right back to the Badgers here, have now turned the ball over. Wisconsin has 19 times. That matches their season high in that double overtime win against Butler. They would love for this to somehow get to double overtime. Not looking likely, but Leitzinger connects for 3. Ari Long. Rebound for Atute. It's Bell. Some different names in there right now. Kelly Graves mixing things up, seeing if he can get some bench production to start this 4th quarter with a 20-point cushion. Picked off by Sophia Bell. And then right back to Porter.
Back cans by Porter, just snatching that right out of the hands of Bell.
And a good find, Tess Myers.
Had a good look at it. Just a little too strong from Myers. You could see that ball, the rotation. A high arcing 3.
Something we've seen, Wisconsin, even though they've had trouble at the start of games, did again today. They continue to play hard under head coach Marissa Mosley. And they've gotten off to a good-looking start in the fourth quarter as Leitzinger goes back to the stripe.
It's just still remarkable that Sarah Williams averaging 19 points per game. The defense has limited her to just 2 shots. 3 points as she split a pair of free throws, but she's just 1 of 2. She's also dealing with 4 personal fouls, but it really hasn't limited her minutes. She's played 22 minutes here with 8 minutes to go in the game, but can't say enough about the defense and the game plan from Oregon to just plug up the paint, make every touch difficult, crowd her. And the spacing just was not good enough today so far for Wisconsin to be able to consistently score.
You know, for a player in Williams that's one of the most decorated in Wisconsin's history, will continue to rack up more and more accolades and honors. That is now, frustratingly, her 5th straight 5+ turnover game, now that she's reached 5 today.
And I think in terms of other teams, we talk scouting and how to project. The reason why this game for Wisconsin doesn't carry over to many other games is because of the length and the height inside the lane, the versatility defensively from Philly Che, Amina Mohammed, Sarah Rambis. That's waves of big players that they have thrown at Sarah Williams.
Here she is looking for her first field goal attempt of the half. Instead, it's McCray.
It's an unselfish play by Williams. Defense flies in the air. McCray open, just had to turn and score it. We'll give credit on the vision and the playmaking ability from Williams as Carter's up to 9 points now.
Wisconsin quietly on a 7-0 run to start the fourth quarter.
Already a career high in total assists, and add another one to the level. It's something she worked on in the offseason for how to read the double teams and then get rid of it to the open player.
Yeah, she's almost going to reach pretty soon, it seems like, the number of assists this season. You combine the number of assists she had from the last 2 seasons in total. It's going to reach what she's got this year within the next couple of games. Picked off there by Katie Fiso. And they were hopeful, Coach Mosley was, that the improved face-up game was going to play today, because you need to bring her away from the basket more to prevent the double teams and that athleticism from showing up for Oregon. But the Ducks have had the upper hand with the game plan and the execution. 58-42, approaching the 6-minute mark in the game. Oregon has not scored yet in the quarter, and a 3-second violation is called on Filipina Che. You don't see those too many times anymore over the course of a game. I've probably seen a couple all season. 3-second violations get called.
Yeah, the way that the game has evolved, the post players using space and going much outside the key compared to what it used to be. They're not camping out like they used to.
Quick double against Williams again. That double becomes so difficult with Che's size to see through. And Oregon's like, wait a second, that was out of bounds. And eventually they find some agreement from the people who matter.
Oregon has just kept Wisconsin at bay. They haven't been explosive offensively, but this year's Oregon team is much more about limiting the other team. That's really the strength. And their defense has been on point. Just 42 points given up in the fourth quarter.
Second chance, Filipina Che, Oregon on the board in the fourth quarter. I like it though, Elise, because that can be a really consistent thing. If that's your team's identity, that defense travels, they say, right?
Well, and I think for Kelly Graves, just each year, each roster brings a different strength. And with the transfer portal here in the year 2025, rosters turn over. You have to be willing to adapt and play to that team's strength. And with this roster, they're a very good defensive team.
Katie Fiso travels. I think that's the hallmark of a lot of great coaches, almost no matter what sport you're talking about. The ability, and he's clearly been around long enough to do this, to adapt to the personnel on your roster, not just be rigid and stubborn to playing only one system or one way.
Well, Kelly loves offense. I mean, let's not lie. He loves three-point shooting. He loves to put 100 on the board. That's really been the hallmark of his teams in the past. But, you know, for him, he likes to win. And so he said, we've got to get in the portal. We've got to, you know, get the best players we can possibly get here at Oregon. And this year's team, with what was available, as Philly Shea, perfect example. Big, 6'8", physical, rugged player that's good defensively. And that's how this team is going to win its most games, is relying on that defense. And I like the scout today. They picked it up and, you know, performed really well on what the scout was.
Well, it's something dating back to, remember his comments on media day, like, you have a year like you had last year, that'll cause a competitor like Coach Graves to be introspective and think about what they could potentially change to get the program back in the right direction. It was, again, just one down year, but they changed the look of this team, and so far it's paid dividends this season. Turn around, they're going to Che a lot lately. Keeps it going. Jump ball, possession arrow favors Oregon. Remember, not that long ago, Kelly Graves leading Oregon with Sabrina Ionescu to the first Final Four in program history in 2019. They lost to Baylor, the eventual national title winner that year. But prior to 2017, this Oregon program had not been to an NCAA tournament since 2005. And they had never been past the second round of the NCAA tournament before 2017. Now, a lot of that says a lot about Sabrina as well, but you think about what Marissa Mosley is trying to do with Wisconsin. Kelly Graves, he did that, and is continuing to do it with Oregon. End of the shot clock, previous. Stays with Oregon, 3:09 to go. Kelly off the inbounds. Gresh is into the game for the Badgers. Gresh this year has played in just 5 games before this one. She's a freshman from Green Bay.
And you see Philly Shea still on the floor. And the starting lineup still out there for Kelly Graves. Start of the 4th quarter, Wisconsin went on a little bit of run with some of the bench in, so Kelly Graves going back to his starters.
Shea today, 8 points, but now 3 for 11 from the field. She's had some nice looks, and haven't quite gone her way.
And she's had the ball roll all the way in and out. They really want to get her to get some confidence.
Good sign, though, her minutes. She's up over 20 minutes for the 2nd game in a row.
Yeah, I think that's the #1 thing. It's not if that shot is going down right now. It's getting her in shape and the ability to run up and down and play 20, 25 minutes a game and be that difference maker. So Sarah Williams has been in double figures every single game this season except for one, her season low, 4 points against Providence. Just didn't shoot the ball well that game, but today, just 2 attempts to go along with the 8 rebounds for Williams. So well, here we are under 2 minutes to go in this game and just has not been able to solve the defensive puzzle that is the Oregon defense.
It says a lot about Oregon because even though she's been struggling with turnovers recently and they've been trying to find a way to better deal with those double teams, like it's been at a different level. today, and that's because of what Oregon has showed defensively. I mean, still, before today, 5 straight games for Williams with a double-double, and that's come to a screeching halt, it appears. Evius has a couple of threes. She's in double figures.
Yeah, she started 9 of 18 this season from 3. She had a stretch where she went 0 for 13 until today. So a big game from Mevius to see the ball go in the hoop again. 2 for 2 from long range.
Hallie Douglas knocking one home from long range. Under a minute left to go. Wisconsin getting it back within 13, continuing to show effort toward the finish line. But Oregon has led by double digits since early in the second quarter. And there have been no ties or lead changes in this game since it was 0-0 at the start. How about another 3 for Mevius?
Thank you, I'll have another, says Mevius, the German. And that's how you do it. You bust out of an 0 for 13 stretch from long range by going 3 for 3. Just sometimes it's funny how the basketball gods work. You start 9 of 18, you go into slump, and now you're 3 for 3.
And if that becomes something she's doing consistently, look out with all we know she can do defensively. And if it's, you know, an absence for Scott that lasts a few games or more, after seeing them play one game without Scott, what's your take on what Oregon has to do here?
Well, I think for Oregon, you never want to see somebody get hurt, but I also think if there's a position that they could withstand it due to their depth, it's at the guard spot. I mean, look at all the guards that have played well for Oregon today. And so I think moving forward, it's just a different style. It's Katie Fiso, or it's, you know, Falatea. There's all kinds of guards that can be difference makers for the Ducks.
And one more stifling defensive possession for the Oregon Ducks. It's their first ever home Big Ten victory. 68